Welcome back to the second episode of Hard Locks here on the Vanilla Sports Media YouTube channel. Garrett Burrow is your host. I'm joined by Chickster. How are we doing tonight?
Not feeling too well after our abysmal debut. We didn't go 0-10 or 1-9 like we said. Well, then we just got to cut the show. But I mean, it was ugh.
We had a rough week. As you can see on the screen here, Alex went 4-6 last week, and I went 5-5. Not the best week. We're hoping to turn it around here this week. If you guys aren't familiar with the show, if you missed last week's episode, what we do here is we're going to go through ESPN's top 10 college pick'em games. We're going to pick our picks and our reasons why, and we're going to count up the score. And at the end of the year, we're going to see who is the better. Alex, you ready to get into this week?
Oh, that was. I was like, what the fuck does he mean by better? I was like, what the fuck? I mean, the first week's always hard. I feel like, so I feel like this is gonna be a better week.
We just got to find our groove a little. We just got to find the groove. And I feel like week one, the players had some jitters. We had a little jitters too. We're exercising our demons a little. We're going to get after it now.
I didn't have no. Okay, well, I didn't have jitters. I was just fucking wrong. That's all it was.
Our
Number
first
one.
game here is going to be Notre Dame playing against NC State. Notre Dame is 7.5-point favorites traveling to play the Wolfpack. Alex, what are your thoughts?
Notre Dame can't go against the Fighting Irish. Sam Hartman. That's all I need to say. Put it on there. That's easy.
I also believe in Sam Hardman a lot. I've been on the Sam Hardman train since last year when he was playing elsewhere. I think that this team, I may not be totally convinced that they are legit title contenders, but they got a pretty easy schedule to start the year. I think they'll do all right here. We've got, I believe, our biggest spread of the week is Ball State against Georgia, 42.5-point favorites. The big spreads seem weird, right? Because you are always intrigued to take the points, but this is Georgia we're talking about playing against Ball State.
I'm taking Georgia. I got fucked by a few big spreads last week that I took. On both sides. Like I took the favorites on some of them, and I took the fucking underdogs on the other ones, and I got fucked on both sides. I'm gonna go with Georgia though. I think Georgia can beat Ball State by 43 points. That's not exaggeration. That's just I feel like that. I mean, and if they only win by 40, good on you for picking Ball State. But
I'm going to pick Ball State. I'm picking Ball State, and the reason is, I mean, they played Middle Tennessee, or they played, I think, Tennessee State last week, and they only won by 41. So, I don't know. Maybe Ball State can put up more than 7 points, maybe a little garbage time touchdown or two, and they can backdoor cover. I don't know. It's interesting. We're gonna see what's going on. Alex, we've got the Iowa Hawkeyes in a rivalry game against the Iowa State Cyclones. Iowa State getting 4.5 at home. What are your thoughts?
this one is actually a lot closer than, as you could tell. Like there's people on both sides. I'm not sure either of these offenses can even fucking score. This might be a 5-0 game, and that's how Iowa is going to cover. But I picked Iowa to cover. They did score 24 points last week, and that was more than Ohio State. So, that's, I mean.
Which we had our hesitations about that team last week, and we were proven right. That offense did not look very good.
No, it didn't. Whoever the quarterback was, I forgot. But I remember, who was it? Toothpaste? Toothpaste was like, get him out. Get him out. I hate this guy. Get him out. He's
wants
horrible.
him gone and shit. I mean, I know it's week one, might be a bit of an overreaction, but I don't think he's too far off.
I'm going to take Iowa. They don't score very well, but neither does Ohio or Iowa State. So it is a rivalry game. I don't know. I'm going to go with Iowa and just hope that the offense is somewhat there. I don't know.
I am always tempted to take home dogs, especially in a rivalry game, and you kind of alluded to it that Iowa's offense for years now has not looked great, and especially coming into this year. But I mean, last week there was glimpses of an offense that looked not mediocre. Michigan transfer Cade McNamara starting in Iowa now. There's a little rough patches there, but I think he did enough to at least instill enough belief in me that they can cover 5 points, especially on the road. But I think it should be close because the offense is not great.
Right.
We've got the UNLV Rebels going up to Ann Arbor to play Michigan. Michigan is favored by 35.5 points. This is the second game without Jim Harbaugh serving a 3-game suspension. They did not cover last week. Do they cover this week?
Am I missing something on Michigan? Yeah, they got players, but like, am I missing something? Like, what? Well, they didn't cover last week. UNLV is not bad. They put up 44 points on whoever the fuck they played. I mean, like, I don't know who it was. I'm not going to sit here and think that I don't think UNLV gets blown out by 36 points. I don't think that's crazy. I mean, for the Rebels to even cover it, they just have to stay within 5 touchdowns. Like,
and especially putting up 44 points last week against Bryant was the school. Bryant.
I mean, like, so yeah, Bryant's not very good. I'll give you that. But, East Carolina is not a ball buster either. It's just like, yes, I think Michigan's going to win this game. I think they're, obviously better than UNLV, but I think this is kind of just disrespectful. I would just have this posted in the locker room for UNLV. Like, I was like, hey, they think they're going to put fucking, 36 points on us. Hell no. Like, they're not going to beat us by 36. So I'm going to take UNLV. I think we need to stop eating so much Michigan cheese, especially without Harbaugh there. Harbaugh, maybe I'll take that. Maybe. But Harbaugh's not there. I don't know. I'm taking the Rebels.
Did you see the tribute that they did to start the game last week?
No.
It's so fucking corny. The players like lined up in like a straight line basically, and like it was said to be a tribute to Harbaugh. And I'm watching that, and I'm like, y'all are some, like, how big of cornballs do you have to be?
Like, no one saw this, was like, this is maybe.
It's not like he died. The man's not dead. He violated some recruiting things during COVID.
Right.
He did it, and then you're honoring him by, like, giving you a tribute before the game started? Give me a break. I'm also taking UNLV. 44 points last week, like you said. The offense didn't look very great. The defense looked good. Only allowed 3 points. The offense, little shaky start to. But this also could be just getting out some jitters.
Yeah, I don't know. You scored 30 points against East Carolina, and then you beat UNLV by 36. It's crazy. Same thing about eating the cheese here. Michael Penis played fucking amazing. But yeah, it's Michael Penis from now on. He played fucking great, but they're beating Tulsa by 35 points now. Like, 35? That's what we're doing? Tulsa didn't play that. And maybe it's just because I don't know. Because, like, I think people take the week 1 games and they're like, oh, yeah, they played a shitty team and they did really well. Therefore, they're going to play a better team and do something similar. And so it's not always the case. Like, usually with the week 1 games, except for TCU or tune-up games, and so, no, it's just that I don't see this one either. I'm gonna take Tulsa on this one. I'm a big underdog for these big lines, except for Georgia. Oddly enough, I take the Georgia one, and that's the biggest one. But like these other ones, I'm not sure about.
I was wondering because you took the big spread, and you're like, I'm a big underdog guy. So I was a little confused by that. I was a little confused.
No. Well, it's Georgia. I'll take Georgia until Georgia will prove me wrong when they do. Like,
that's fair. That's honestly fair. I am going to take Washington here. I think that Boise State runs circles around Tulsa, and this Washington team beat Boise State last week by 37. And so if you're taking that into consideration, getting 34.5 is a big spread, and especially the first half of that game against Boise State. It was close until the second half, until Michael Penis really started warming up and the offense started flying around. I think the same thing happens here, but I think they come out of the gate hot and they just stay hot the entire game. This could be like a backdoor cover situation for Tulsa where, Penis and the starters get pulled out like early start of the fourth quarter. This is going to be so hard for me to just maintain composure all year long, calling this man Michael Penis. This screams backdoor cover, but I can't go with it. I'm gonna go with Washington just because they beat the brakes off of Boise State last week, and I don't see any signs.
That's Boise State. It's Boise State.
So is Tulsa better than Boise State?
Sure.
Okay, got it. Sounds good.
It's hard. Those big covers are hard, except for Georgia.
I just want to bring up one thing really quick with the Appalachian State North Carolina game. Alex and myself both picked North Carolina as a home. It was a neutral site game. Home dogs against South Carolina, and Alex and I both were called foolish because
Were we really?
South Carolina, Trey, site owner Trey, Don of Vendetta Sports Media, Trey, said in the Slack, the Hard Lock guys don't know what they're talking about. South Carolina is winning this game, and doubled down on it as well. And that's why I sent the video in the Slack and I tagged you that said it was free money, because Alex and I both said it was free money all night long, and we said we were foolish.
Oh, hold on.
I just want the record to state the Hard Lock guys may not know. They may know what they're talking about.
We did go 5-5 and 4-6. So
hey, but the game he called out, we got right. That's what matters. All right, we've got Appalachian State plus 15.5 against Drake May and the Tar Heels. Can the Tar Heels make it 2-0 against the spread?
I think they do. Drake May played, like he's a top 2 pick in the NFL draft, and that's if Caleb Williams is going to be in the draft. If not, he still played lights out as the top 1. Like he could be an overall pick, the number 1 overall pick. I think that continues, and maybe that's foolish, but whatever. What do I know?
Drake May, for the credit that he got for some of the throws he made last week, didn't play exceptional. He had 2 interceptions. One of them was really bad. One of them technically was off of the receiver's hands first and then went into the hands of the DB, so you can't give him a ton of blame there. I think he'll clean it up, no problem. I don't see any issue with North Carolina covering 15.5.
If I'm on my phone, it's because I'm trying to find this. I didn't see this. I just let this go without no comment.
You did just let it go, and I was shocked. But I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson to start. There you go. I learned my lesson at the start of the year. For some reason, as a quick side note, we'll go back on track here. Trey is the biggest Denver Nuggets hater there ever was, I think. For some reason, he picked Denver as his team he's going to hate. I'm a diehard Nuggets fan living in Denver. I said Denver was going to win the title. He wrote an article saying no one's taking them seriously, the X, Y, and Z. Denver wins the title. All silence. I learned my lesson. I didn't say anything the entire stretch when he was talking. Just all fueled the fire. So I let it go. I let that go too. We've got SMU plus 16.5 against Oklahoma, who absolutely dog walked Arkansas State last week. 16.5 might be a lot of points, but this is a team I believe who put up 60 or 70 plus points last week.
Yeah, if you're able to do that and you're only getting a 17-point spread, even against a better team in SMU, I'm going to take Oklahoma again. I don't think that was really a fluke. I think that offense can really move. So I don't know. I'm going to go Oklahoma here again. SMU will put up a better fight, obviously, than Arkansas State, but 17 points is almost a gimme.
You'd like to think that Oklahoma should be able to cover 16.5. It's interesting that they put up all these points, and now they're such a big favorite in this game as well. It would be interesting I wouldn't be shocked if this game was close at the half potentially. But like you said, the offense, take with a grain of salt that they played Arkansas State, but the offense looked really good last week. So we'll have to see if they continue it here. I'm picking Oklahoma. I'm picking Oklahoma as well, but we'll have to see. The game of the week, the Texas Longhorns in a rematch of their home-and-home series last year, where Alabama went into Texas and stole a victory.
Good game. Very good game.
Great game last year. Say what you will. The game completely changed when Quinn Ewers got hurt. Would the outcome have been different? Who knows? Texas is plus 7.5 against Alabama. Alabama looked pretty decent last week. We'll have to see. This is for all intents and purposes arguably one of the biggest games of the year. It'll be interesting to see if Texas can step up.
Picking Texas.
Alex is picking Texas.
I think they can win this game too.
Call me crazy. I don't think that's a terrible take. I think so. The only thing that's interesting to me is that this Texas team lost Bijan and Roshan Johnson to the draft last year. They're gonna be starting a new guy behind center.
Not even
But
good.
they still have Jatavion Sanders at tight end. They still have Xavier Worthy at wide receiver. The offense still has plenty of weapons. It's going to really be who. If this sounds stupid, but like who can keep the other team lowest, but in the sense of like whose defense is going to make the stop at the key moment. That's more what I'm trying to get at.
I don't necessarily. I think which quarterback is going to go win this game, and I think it's Ewers. I think he goes. I think this is a back and forth game. I think Texas covers regardless. I think, even if Alabama wins by a touchdown, it's not 8 points. So
that's true.
And Alabama's not going to try to go for 2 to cover, unlike some.
No.
There was some who did that? Was it Penn State to cover or some shit like that? I don't know.
No, it was a Penn team. I saw what you were talking. I saw what you were talking about. Yeah, it was like super late in the game, and they went for it, and then it like completely backfired.
Yeah.
So we released a roundtable for at Vendetta about who we think is going to win the Heisman. Trey has Quinn Ewers winning the Heisman. This would be the breakout moment for him, is to go into Tuscaloosa and steal a win. And I could see a scenario where they win the game. To be honest, they should have won the. If Quinn didn't get hurt last year, they would have won that game. They would have won that game.
We just finished coaching the game, because it was on Saturday, of course. We just finished, and we were all about to go to the bar and watch it, but then we realized it was like fourth quarter with like 3 minutes. So the game's over, and we're all just watching it on this dude's phone right there, just watching it. And because there's Texas fans, but unfortunately, if Texas does win that game, you're going to hear everything Texas is back. But like we said last week, we don't really like when people say that. But if there's a year to say that, this would probably be the best year so far for them to say it. So especially if they go out and win. Yeah.
I'm 100% with you. All right, we got. But
I don't get this one at all. I don't get this one at all.
This seems like a lock of the week potential. Like this seems like the free money bet, like UNC was last week. Oregon
until someone says Hard Locks guys don't know what we're talking about. Until that
only 6.5 point favorites in Lubbock taking on the Red Raiders. There is no explanation. We're both taking Oregon here.
Right. But like, why though? Like, why did they just come out with this and we're like, this is it?
I mean, there's a reason that 90% of people are taking Oregon,
and the 10% they're all from Midland. I promise you.
They're all Midland, Odessa area. They're all Red Raiders fans. This Oregon team put up 81 points last week. Yeah, 81. It was the most in school history since 36, and the most in the modern era.
And who did Tech lose to? They lost to somebody. It was double overtime, wasn't it?
Yes.
Texas State.
No, Texas State beat Baylor.
Oh yeah. Well, another shitty football team. You know what I'm saying? Let me see here. Now I have to look. But yeah, no, it's just I don't get this one at all. It's just like why do you think that Tech deserves to only be a 7-point underdog? Let's see.
100% our easy bet of the week.
Wyoming. It was Wyoming.
That's what it is. Yes.
Wyoming. Yeah, no, I don't get that at all. So, whoever thought of that line, thank you for the free money. Bet it and go.
This is going to have to be a weekly thing for us where we pick a game that's free money, I think. Because week 1, UNC was free money. Week 2, Oregon's free money as well.
Oh well, we didn't know anything about the UNC one though. Maybe it's because we just saw Drake May live and we saw the dude can
how special that dude is.
Yeah.
He's
Who did they play?
They played Pitt.
UNC. That's right. That was a good game too.
Pitt. Yeah. Our last game of the week, we've got the Stanford Cardinal, almost 30-point dogs against USC. The only reason our records are different is last week USC beat the brakes off of Nevada in the Fighting Matt Hannafins. And I admire Alex for riding Matt here. Y'all, hey, listen. You rode, and it was, listen, the cover was close for like 3 quarters.
Yeah.
It was back and forth. It was back and forth whether they were going to cover or not. I think that USC is looking like a national title contender. I don't see any scenario where they don't cover 30 points.
I took Stanford.
Okay.
I think division-like game or rivalry game. I don't know, but maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me not wanting to bet for USC. Maybe that's it.
I was about to say that's got to be what it is, because no one in their right mind would take Stanford here.
45%.
I mean, shoot, 45%'s picking it, but 45% of y'all are wrong.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm taking Stanford, and if I have to do that for you, I will. I'll make that sacrifice for you.
So you're going to sacrifice the record
for
just
you
to get USC? I appreciate that. That takes a big fella.
Yeah, it is what it is.
With a big old wagon. All right.
And I'm let's go back over Stanford covers though. They're gonna put they called me a madman. Like they
Oh God, I both do and don't want to see it, but I don't want to see it because I want my record to be good.
Yeah, well, how many are we differing on this? You're picking USC, so how many? That's one.
I've got Ball State. You've got Georgia. I've got Washington. You've got Tulsa. I've got USC. You've got Stanford. So just go over them one more time for everybody watching here. We are both in agreement. Notre Dame covers 7.5. I've got Ball State plus 42.5 against Georgia. Alex is taking the points, even though he's a big underdog guy.
Yeah, Georgia.
So we both are in agreement that Iowa covers 4.5, but it could be close. UNLV covers 35.5 against Michigan. Correct. This is another one where we differ on. Alex is taking the points for Tulsa against Washington. We've both got UNC, which is probably going to be our team this year, just because we're going to be petty and say we don't know what we're talking about when we bet them.
I have a UNC shirt. I'll just have to. I should have worn that. I didn't know. I wish I would have done that beforehand.
Yeah. I genuinely thought you knew and you just weren't saying anything. I was like, this is so uncharacteristic of Alex to not talk shit. Right.
Yeah, when Michael Jordan's like, everyone can talk shit when they up. Right there, it takes a real man to talk shit when you're down or tied. That's me. I don't care. I'll go down fighting, talking shit. But
that is the truth. We've both got Oklahoma minus 16.5. We're both taking Texas to cover in Tuscaloosa.
I would be curious to see what the odds are on money line for Texas. I'd be curious.
I can tell you.
I really do think they could win that game.
Listen, it's losable for Alabama.
Because people thought that Alabama had no business losing last year to them, and they didn't lose to them. But usually if you don't have no business, the game shouldn't be close.
Colorado is only 3.5-point favorites against Nebraska. That seems like easy money.
Hey, I'm glad we're all on the Coach Prime thing. Even though last week we said they had no chance winning that game, but
Texas is plus 230 money line.
That's not bad.
That ain't bad at all.
It's not bad.
That is not bad at all.
All right,
and then of course Alex is picking against USC. I've got 29.5. Alex is taking the points. And again, just to recap, as you see on the left-hand part of your screen here, Alex is 4-6. I finished week 1 5-5. Alex, do you have any thoughts before we close it out here?
So if USC wins with points, but you lose on Tulsa and Georgia, we'll be tied anyway. So I'll sacrifice that for you. It's okay.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Like I said at the beginning, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel already, be sure to press that button and ring the bell so you don't miss any of the uploads coming out of our channel. We're going to see you next time.